Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and to all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. It is dark-ish and gray and chill and raining outside. It's been wet for days and days and days, and it's still going to be up near the 50s, dropping around the 40s tonight. You know, I'm old, so I pay attention to the weather. I don't watch the Weather Channel, but I do have a weather URL that I go to check on things. Thumbs up for that. I actually slept a little bit last night. Of course, gut pain woke me up and back pain, so yay. But then part of the gut pain's my issue. I have a gluten intolerance, and guess who can't stop eating bread products? Thumbs up for that. Front loading of videos. Hey, if you could toss me a like, it'd be awesome. If you could subscribe to the channel, it'd be very cool. If you could leave me a comment, that would be double plus good. And of course, I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These are literally beautiful and literally awesome people who are helping to keep me and my current pet alive. A very good thing. I'm hoping to get some hamster here soon. So here's a hoping. Without these people helping, I would be hosed very, very badly, even like a Christmas monkey, and that's not good. If you'd like to become a patron and help me out, I have links in the video description, as well as links to a PayPal for possible donations, an Amazon wishlist link with things like pet food on it, and of course, a post office box where if you send me anything at all, I only ask for postcards and keychains. I will show those off on video, and it'll be very cool. Front loading of videos over, thumbs up for that. Yay, it's a brand new day. I didn't get a whole ton of stuff done yesterday. I can only shower about once a week. During that time, I use, washcloths, and I wash my various trouble spots around my body, because taking a shower with my chronic pain, weakness, and fatigue, it is a tough process. It takes 2 hours from walking in to walking out, and I have had a workout by the time I am done. So yesterday in the afternoon, I did that. I don't always tell you about my showers, and TMI, but there we go. But after that, I'm exhausted. I use up all my energy to do that. But I still had to go walkies. So later that night, 7 o'clock, I head out on walkies anyway, walked all the way up to Walmart and back. So I'm pretty sore and tired today. I don't have as much energy as I would like, but I never do. So thumbs up for that. Hopefully your day is doing well. That would be a very good thing. There are some things I do want to talk about, like I talked about yesterday about the debacle with the card. Now, I don't know what happened. Seriously now, something is really bizarre, because the first time I tried to use the card, it asked me for a PIN. I didn't have one, and so I canceled everything out, and it was just a bad situation. I talk about it in my other video. So because that hosed me, RJ actually went through and sent me another $50 to cover what had been taken out of my checking account to cover trying to use the card. Thank you so very much, RJ Mitchell. It is appreciated. Because of that, I'm not hosed. But then I wanted to try out the card again, because it's like, well, maybe I do, like some people have said, and like on Facebook and such, maybe you have to enter a PIN for the first time. So I went up there and I ran it through with a $10 purchase with very few people, because it was like 8:30 at night. It didn't ask for a PIN. It just did the purchase. I have no idea what's going on or why. Why did it ask for a PIN and refuse me the first time, and then not ask me for it this time? I have no ideas. It's bizarre, but it's working, and that's a very good thing. So thumbs up for that. So what could have been a very bad situation has turned into a not bad situation. We're back to having to do all this stuff. So again, thank you, RJ Mitchell. It is greatly appreciated. Hopefully you're watching. I've missed seeing your comments in the comments. So thumbs up for that. But I just wanted to mention, I went from the possibility of very bad things happening to not bad at all, and that's a good thing. Back up to status quo, which while status quo isn't good, it's better than what I was looking at, so thumbs up on that. There is something else I wanted to talk about, because I was thinking about dice towers. I had mentioned before, I'm looking for something here to show you. I'd mentioned before I'd been looking at dice towers, but dice towers are expensive. And then because I made my own dice box and did a good job, I started thinking about just DIYing a dice tower. I have like a Pringles can or two, but you need to clean them out because there's oil and junk on the inside. And you have to be careful because in the end, while it's shiny and metallicized, it's still just paper and cardboard. I don't know how to cut grease on cardboard and not destroy it. I mean, it's semi-water resistant because of that coating that keeps the oils and stuff in, but I don't know what to use to cut grease so that I can run dice through it and not have it be horrible. So if I can figure out how to do that, then I can easily make a dice tower. At the same time, I'm not dependent on that. I've made the dice box. I know I can make a square tower out of foam board, hold that together with tape, and then just put 45-degree angled slots in down to the bottom, put it up on a base, and then it can go bump, 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 bump with the dice and then fall right into the dice box. I'm still thinking of doing that. I have the foam board I bought was originally for like as a surface to do RPG stuff on, but while I liked it, it wasn't good enough, so I've had it sitting to the side, but then I needed to build something, decided to use that, and it's good for that. So thumbs up, and I'm using the rest of that foam board, which I've still got like over 4/5, I guess, is 8/10, 4/5 left of it. So definitely a good thing, and hopefully if I do make a dice tower, I'll be able to show it off. Yay! Now let's see what else I have on here, because there are some things. I do want to mention again the song Unholy Voices. I've mentioned this before. It is a song from the PC game Blood from the mid 90s or late 90s, and it's really, really good. One of the things that I really like about the song, because of my just disposition, it is an ominous sounding song, and yet at the same time it's upbeat. It has a triumphant sort of feel to it while being very ominous at the same time, which fits the game perfectly, since it is, after all, a gigantic cult with an actual god in charge of it all. So yeah, the cult is on the rise, triumphant but ominous. Very cool. It's good stuff. Now let me see what else we have, because I have been thinking of this one too. I have wanted to play a whole bunch of these OSR things lately for the channel, as well as like 4AD, 4 Against Darkness, and D100 Dungeon and all that. I had bought and shown off the game White Box, because I had also gotten the game Scarlet Heroes, and because it's all based on OSR, old school Renaissance ancient D&D stuff from the 70s and such, a lot of these things are just mega compatible. And because it's solo RPG stuff, you can really mix and match your stuff to do this. I'd mentioned how I thought of a character yesterday for just how you can make a generic character and then use the GM emulator stuff with oracles, which is you just roll and see what a die table tells you, and then there's various things that can give you clues of what's to come next. I started thinking of a group of characters of Brett, Ostler, Kive, and Yamil. Now, because I don't know how many characters would be good to play in a group, in a party, and that sort of thing, that's why there are 4 characters. The first 2, Brett and Ostler, are guaranteed, and then there's Kive, who, if you need a rogue and I need 3 characters, that's good, and Yamil, who's used only sparingly, because part of the reason they're even with the others is their parents have paid for them to go to the community type magic college knowledge in the town that they've gone to. So they have to study and pass their classes. They can't just go adventuring all the time. So I was thinking of, hey, there's 4 characters for that. Use the OSR white box rules for the characters. Use any oracle that I would like. Take the dungeon generation rules from D100 dungeon to make the dungeon that we would go traveling into. And then, yeah, like I'd mentioned for yesterday with the possible setting, these people grew up in a small to medium-sized village. Because they have entered maturity, they have left town, because you can either stay in town and be a farmer for the rest of your life, live as a farmer, die as a farmer, or because it's not vastly technological, it's quasi-European, quasi-medieval time period. And so it's not vastly ahead of everything, but then it's quasi things because these societies have been around for a while. In the town, that's where we have these people who don't know the world, don't know anything, so it makes sense that the world is unknown. They're learning the world. And they get these rooms. You can have one person and in one boarding house type area, the other 2 in another boarding house type area, and they're trying to find their way and work in the world. And so I want to do that, where they go out doing things, doing hex crawls from, say, Note Quest. And then when it comes to combat, switch back to the OSR stuff, because with all the old school Renaissance type rules, they are lightly compatible with each other. They start from a same base, but they are approached with a different philosophical idea of how you're playing. There's original Dungeons and Dragons, and then Swords and Sorcery is kind of based on that from what I can see, because this old school Renaissance white box is based on Swords and Sorcery, but if you take a look at that, it looks exactly like the original D&D before it became a D&D. But all of these things being roughly based on each other are roughly compatible. I mentioned how it goes roughly compatible like that with the there's AD&D, which led to Swords and Sorcery, which leads to the game White Box, which leads to Maze Rats, which leads to Knave, and they're all lightly built on top of each other. So they're all roughly compatible. Sometimes a little bit of work, like the game White Box. It gives your armor class in 2 different ways. If you use an ascending armor class, you use the one. If you use a descending armor class, you use the other. Of course, that just means where your armor class is higher, that's better. When your armor class is lower, that's better. They give the 2 armor classes that you can keep it compatible with everything. So I'm looking at doing that. That would be awesome, but at the same time, there is the free game Ironsworn. And this is not just a one character doing things. You're also trying to build a community in the Ironlands type of setting. So it is deep, it's intense, there is a lot of community materials for it. And I noticed that people were talking about this you pay for addition to the game, supplement called Delve, which adds like delving, dungeon diving to the game. That's a pay for thing. I was going through just some of my books last night and going on to Itch, because I was also, when I say books, I mean PDFs. And then I was watching the videos, tracking down file names, went to itch.io, and they have, pay and print or free print and play games. And one of the things I looked at said, you own this. And I went, oh. I had bought back in 2020 a charity bundle from itch.io and then promptly forgot that I had bought it. I don't know how much stuff is in it, but there's a lot of PDFs at the very least. One of those PDFs is Delve. So, son of a gun, I've had the thing that I've wanted just as a completist type thing for a while now, 2 years. So I really want to run the game Ironsworn. and show that as well with the whole delve stuff and all the other parts. This one looks intense though, so I gotta print that out. As well as I want to print out and do the game Drifter, because I was gifted a copy of it by the person who actually makes the game, and I want to run that for the channel, but I got to get that printed, so I have to wait till Sunday the 1st, but the library's closed on Sunday, so on Monday I can get some books and such printed on the 44 bucks that the library gives every patron to print. So Monday we'll start looking at Drifter showing up soon. Also, I want to talk about this because I had mentioned that the corporations and places like Uncle Bonbons in my Cryptid setting are selling products. Now, Uncle Bonbons is effectively the Ben and Jerry's of the cryptid world. They are the most highly ethical, highly moral, deep sense of right and wrong, trying to do social things correctly, being good for the community, being good for everybody as best they can. The corporations, of course, are, just run purely for profit motive, but they have largely humans in charge that they've got money, they hear from those below them that have the vision, and then this is the result. So there's a couple philosophical ways that all these foodstuffs are coming out for cryptids. I have mentioned how, statistically, this has reduced the number of random human consumptions by cryptids worldwide. There are spikes in some areas because they need volunteers, but on the whole, random consumptions worldwide go down, and so it's a good thing. That, of course, is only one part of the picture, because they are liars, damned liars, and statisticians, because you can make statistics say anything. Yes, random human consumptions do go down. Overall, though, the number of people being funneled down cryptid throats and into cryptid digestive systems does go up, and will continue going up for a time as the corporations and Uncle Bonbon continue chasing the almighty capital. So they're going to be increasing things. And yes, Uncle Bonbons, highly moral, deeply ethical. But remember, the moral compass of human beings and cryptids are kind of different. On a moral compass, humanity, we have like a true north that we seem to have kind of agreed on as a social species, how we've evolved as creatures. But we have this about 10 degrees that you can go this direction, and 10 degrees you can go this way. So true north is kind of a range like this. And as long as you got sort of a justification that feels right, yeah, it works. Cryptids, that moral compass can point true north no matter where it is on the dial. Even if it's like dangling straight down from gravity, that's true north. And so cryptids being that way, when they get volunteers from countries that need to get rid of dissidents, those are volunteers. They don't worry about what the actual individuals are saying because they volunteered. And yeah, cryptids, when they're eating you or doing things like this, they don't bother to kill you first because you're gonna die anyway. You're gonna die from the process. Why should I waste the energy to kill you and then eat you when eating you is going to kill you? Why should we waste energy to kill you before we break you down into your component parts for snacks and food products, when being broken down for snacks and food products is going to kill you anyway? They don't do it for cruelty, they're just unable to make that conceptual leap. So yes, if you happen to be a human being with a fairly high cryptid vision, with your third eye open, and you need, you want capital, you could end up working at an Uncle Bonbons where you've got a processing center, where you've got a butcher knife, and then through the door comes one of your volunteers. Now, you as the first person in the station aren't really responsible for too much, but they need to be at least not alive and partially broken down by the time they go to the next station. So you need to get your butcher knife, and it doesn't matter if they're a volunteer or a volunteer. you got a job to do. So I think they probably give out earplugs so that you don't damage your hearing from the screaming. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. If I mispronounce, I forgot what I was saying. If I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended, and even though I count in American Sign Language, my brain. And of course, if you've watched this far, my sincere thank yous. I appreciate every person who watches any video that I make. Across YouTube, the vast bulk of people stop watching within 3 minutes. Across my videos, the vast quantity of people stop watching before 2. If you watch, thank you. You've done this of your own volition. Nobody's forcing you. You're doing it because you want to. I appreciate that. Let me call up my Chrome because we have Ice Damon. Thank you very, very much. And 77 Arcturus. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know what the heck is going on with these things. And especially, I'm glad we don't have a CVS here. And then we have Confused L29. Good to see you in the comments. It is a good thing. Cake, thumbs up, thank you. And I actually tried to use the card on online, and that didn't work at all. It was just immediately rejected. But then I don't know what's going on, since it asked for a pin the one day and then didn't the next. I have no idea how to pronounce it properly. So Jaoa, Paolo, thumbs up, thank you. Jesse Koskinen, always good to see you in the comments, my friend. And we have Chris, thumbs up and thank you, good to see you. Tommy Copeland, thumbs up and good to see you in the comments as well. And I've got a whole bunch more Cryptid stuff and such, and hopefully I'll be able to talk more about that later. But thank you very much for being interested. It is appreciated. There is Bella Jour, thumbs up and thank you. And then that is it. 9 people who left me comments in the past 24 hours. Thank you. You get me out of my head, into the world, and dealing with real people, if only for a short time, and if only a text. Thumbs up and thank you. It is appreciated. Well, it being Saturday, I've got an idea for one quick video where I just make up some white box characters so I can start and show off people the other products that I'm going to use for my own, that DIY hodge it together sort of system and campaign that I told you about. So here's hoping I can get that at least started to work on. Hopefully you're going to just take it easy today, no matter where you are, no matter what is happening. It would be a very good thing. And of course, with everything happening in the world, please, if people are getting sick where you are, take appropriate precautions, especially since in the United States, we're still losing at least 125,000 people a year to the Covfefe bug. And it is tearing through places like China. It's going to continue to mutate and get easier and easier to spread. Please be careful. And as well, if things are going bad where you are physically, if people are getting hurt, don't go where people are getting hurt. I mean, your odds of getting hurt may be low, but they are higher than if you stay away. And of course, though, if you are out walking and you hear the mournful howl of that bus, the bus with your name on it, well, just prepare. You're about to transition from living, breathing, thinking human being to corpse. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing.